celebration of the 4th anniversary of the opening of the Armed Forces Network on the European continent, the North American service of the French Broadcasting System invites you to a rendezvous in Paris. 3 years ago, July the 4th, 1924, a new radio signal beamed out over the European continent, strong, clear, and free, giving a lift to thousands of homesick GIs and new hope to millions of Nazi-enslaved people. This was AFN, the Armed Forces Network, whose continental transmitters, first in London, then in Paris, then clear across Europe, and finally in Frankfurt and Munich, are mileposts on the victory march. Rendezvous in Paris is proud to be one of the programs now heard over AFN by the occupation forces in Germany. Tonight, while Claude Dauphin, our regular host, is still on location, Roger Tréville, another French artist of note, takes over and is awaiting us at the Salle Wagram, familiar to every GI who visited Paris, where tonight a special AFN birthday celebration is now in full swing. Later in the program, we will have the pleasure of presenting the Honorable Jefferson Caffrey, U.S. Ambassador to France, who will speak to us from the embassy. But right now, your host, Roger Tréville.
Bonsoir. Tonight, this large old dance hall, where GIs taught French girls how to jitterbug, seems to have come to life again as we celebrate the 3rd birthday of AFN. Mais oui, the Armed Forces Network is now a big baby, 3 years old. Well, big babies like myself and AFN appreciate presents on birthdays. So, with no delay, we break the strings, tear off the paper, and open the first present from Rendezvous in Paris to AFN and find Pierre Spears, France's foremost swing pianist and harpist, with his orchestra. They play Monde, the big new French hit. It simply means the world. Alors, present number 2 is breaking out of the box. And who jumps out but smiling Pierre Dudon, composer and singer of the biggest post-liberation success, Café au lait au lit, a song about breakfast in bed. It is a song that GIs waltz to, right here in Salle Wagram, and that has been heard over AFN many times. But now Pierre Dudon sings it the way all France knows and likes it best. Café au lait au lit.
Les cafés crème dans les bars de Paris, on les connaît, on les aime. Chaque Parisien un beau jour en a pris et reprend toujours les mêmes. Mais quand viennent les vacances, il suffit de s'en aller dans la montagne où l'agence Cook nous dit qu'on fabrique du bon lait. On arrive que c'est beau, voilà les vaches, les veaux et les oiseaux, les hôtels, les jardins, les prairies, les sapins. Et chaque matin, on prend le café au lait avec des gâteaux et les croissants chauds. Prendre le café, olé, olé, est-ce que ça peut être bon? Non, non, non. Par la fenêtre on entend les cloches des vaches dans les champs. Lyonnais, vive le café au lait. Dans la montagne on entend les montagnards tout contents. Yodelé, olé. Les petites femmes qui se promènent dans Paris, on les connaît, on les aime. Il suffit d'en voir une seule qui sourit pour aimer toujours les mêmes. Mais le hasard des vacances un jour peut nous faire cadeau d'une belle fille dont l'innocence vient partager notre dodo, notre dono. Nous voilà bien au chaud, qu'il est bon, notre nid d'oiseau. On embête les voisins le soir quand tout s'éteint. Et chaque matin, on prend le café au lait, avec des gâteaux et des croissants chauds. Prendre le café au lait, est-ce que ça peut être bon? Non, non, non. Par la fenêtre on entend les cloches des vaches dans les champs. Lyonnais, vive le café au lait. Dans la montagne on entend les montagnards tout contents. Yodelé, olé. Et quand on rentre à Paris, en France, on est encore un peu gris d'avoir trop pris de café. Où ça? Au lit.
We pause now for a serious moment to present the Honorable Jefferson Caffrey, the United States Ambassador to France, who joins us today to pay tribute to the enlisted men and officers who have for the past 4 years kept the beacon light that is AFN ever bright. The Honorable Jefferson Caffrey speaking from the U.S. Embassy in Paris.
I am delighted to congratulate the Armed Forces Network on the occasion of their 4th anniversary. The Armed Forces Network, or AFN, as it is popularly known, has accomplished much during these past years. It has faithfully brought entertainment and enjoyment to the men and women of our armed forces, and in so doing has brought a great measure of enjoyment to the people of Europe. More than that, through AFN, the people of Europe have learned much about American tastes in music and humor, and in fact about our way of life. Throughout the war, AFN was the voice of a friend to all troops. It lightened their off-hour duties with programs designed especially for them, programs which had been their favorites in civilian life. AFN was a soldier's link with his far-off homeland. It was his tie with the fireside he was fighting to defend. And AFN was Europe's tie with the far-off, mystic land of our liberators. Since the defeat of the enemy, AFN has done a very successful job in changing its theme from the urgency of winning the war to the urgency of winning the peace. It is my hope that this network will continue successful during the coming years. I wish to thank the North American service of Radio Diffusion Française for their anniversary tribute to AFN. Today, Americans and Europeans alike are joined in congratulating and wishing a very happy birthday to the Armed Forces Network.
The last voice you heard was the Honorable Jefferson Caffrey, U.S. Ambassador to France, speaking to us directly from the U.S. Embassy. And now, back in the Salle Wagram, we continue our AFN birthday party. And the next present, oh la la, ooh, what do I see? Very fancy. Wrapped in baby blue tissue with ribbons and spangles. Oh, it is marked delicate, fragile, and handled with care. So we open it quickly, but carefully. And out steps the loveliest, brightest star of the French music halls, Josette Daïdé. She sings, Soyons amis, monsieur. Let us be friends, monsieur. A plea to a handsome young man. Love is dangerous, that she is afraid. She begs as he draws close to her, but when he kisses her, ooh, oh, she sighs. I am afraid, but love is so much better, monsieur.
Je suis heureuse près de vous ce soir. La vie me semble toute rose. Mon cœur ému s'emplit d'un doux espoir. Je vais vous dire quelque chose. Surtout ne m'interrompez pas, je vous en prie. Vous répondrez lorsque j'aurai tout dit. Soyons amis, monsieur. J'ai peur de l'amour. Soyons amis, c'est mieux. L'amour est si court et lorsque le désir s'efface, tout passe sans trace. Soyons amis, monsieur. Je vous aime bien, n'est-ce pas merveilleux? Non, ne dites rien et ne faites pas la grimace. Soyons amis, monsieur. Ne pouvez-vous résister au désir? Notre amitié a tant de charme. On ne peut pas aimer sans en souffrir. Déjà vos yeux sont pleins de larmes. Ne me regardez pas ainsi, je vous en prie. Je vois bien que vous n'avez pas compris. Soyons amis, monsieur. J'ai peur de l'amour. Soyons amis, c'est mieux. L'amour est si court et lorsque le désir s'efface, tout passe sans trace. Non, non, laissez-moi, monsieur. Vos yeux me font peur. Non, ce n'est pas sérieux. Chérie, quel bonheur. Je voulais tant que tu me laisses. Soyons amants, monsieur.
And there they are. Our birthday greetings from Salvagram to you, men of the Armed Forces Network. We hope that you, the occupation forces in Germany, and our listening audience in the United States, enjoyed our brief but sincere offering of thanks for all that AFN has done to make the war and post-war years brighter and more endurable. Bonsoir.
Listening to a special anniversary broadcast of Rendezvous in Paris dedicated to the Armed Forces Network with your host, Roger Préville, our guests, Pierre Dudon and Joseph Daide, and the Honorable Jefferson Caffrey, U.S. Ambassador to France, who addressed us from the United States Embassy. Join us next week for another Rendezvous in Paris when Claude Dauphin will be back as your host. Rendezvous in Paris, a presentation of the North American service of the French Broadcasting System, was written and directed by Edward Gruskin and Pierre Grambla. Your announcer is Ben Smith.